there's a story in Second Chronicles chapter 29. It tells the story of King Uzziah, and he was a very successful king. He was what we would call a good king of Judah, and he followed God with all his heart, and God blessed him with military battles, and he even used like the first accounts of what have been a catapult or trebuchet, and so with all this success that he had, Uzziah became very prideful and arrogant. So much so that he went into the temple to try to burn incense. Now, for those of us who don't understand Old Testament law or Jewish law, and I was like, what's the big deal about burning some incense? But that was reserved specifically for the priest, and there were certain rituals and everything they had to go through in order to even be able to go and do this thing. And so when the priest came and approached Uzziah and said, hey, you can't do this, instead of Uzziah being repentant, he powered up. And he started to argue with him, and he started saying, why can't I do this? And demanding that he should and could be able to do this. It was in that moment that God afflicted him with leprosy, that he started having something on his forehead. He couldn't even see it, but all the other priests could, and they immediately told him what was going on, and then he left in disgrace and had to live in another house, and his son ended up taking over the kingdom. And what I learned from this story was that there's sometimes where we can become so arrogant, so prideful, especially after we have some success, that we don't think that we need God, or we think that we're bringing this success to God when God actually didn't have anything to do with it. And we're wanting him to bless this thing that we're doing when we're out of order. We're not doing what God has actually asked us to do. And Uzziah's major problem was that when he was confronted about it, he was unrepentant. He didn't say he was sorry. He didn't say that he realized what he was doing was wrong and to turn away from it. In fact, he doubled down on it. And so what we need to do is when we've realized that we've done something wrong, that we've sinned, and that even with our pride and arrogance, that we need to say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I repent and turn from our ways as much as we can and ask for God's forgiveness.